Hey, what's up, D fam? Welcome back to the greatest Bi-City podcast in the world, the Weekly D podcast. I'm your host, Danny G, and my amazing co-host Kyle. He's a little on the sidelines right now. He's handling some business, so he'll be here in a bit. But today we got a very special guest coming out of Katy, Texas. He's a rapper, singer, songwriter. Please allow me to introduce the likings of the amazing D.Flako.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's D.Flako. Dímelo, mi gente, que lo que?
Hey, that's what's up. How you doing, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
You doing good? You chilling?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey,
Just being here, just relaxing, you feel me?
Yeah,
Working
relaxing, chilling.
on-
Hey, that's what's up, bro. Like we got to talk to you a little bit before we started the show, and it was nice to kind of like just catch up a little bit, since the last time we saw each other, which was Palooza.
Yeah.
So let's just get into it, bro. Let's get into it. How you been? What you been up to since Palooza?
After Palooza, pretty much I've just been focusing on making music, like, and trying to grow, I guess you could say, my presence online. And aside from those two things, it's just been work, home, and music. This is what life looking like right now.
Nice. That's what's up. I mean, we hear the work coming in through your phone. The ring going off. They're blowing you up, bro.
Nah, no cap.
No cap, huh? So you've been working on music. What kind of music are you working on right now? Like, are you working on a project for yourself? Are you doing some collabs?
So, mainly a lot of what I've been doing has been collabs for the past few months. I got a whole bunch of different collabs, with A. Jamakai, Motion. I got a couple other people that's more underground. Somebody like Joe Dons, very good friend of mine, makes amazing music. He gonna be dropping soon. And yeah, just collabs and then a couple songs here and there for myself, some singles that I put my free time into and I enjoy making just for the
Oh,
fun of
hell yeah.
it.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I'm excited to hear like your collabs are about to come out because, like you said, you work with Aluki, with Motion, with Jamaica, which are all people that they're part of the D fam now, right? We've had them on the podcast, and they're all part of the fam, and it's exciting to see how y'all are coming together and how, like, even though it wasn't the most popular thing, like we had just a little hair in getting all y'all together at Palooza, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, worked on it. We was all there, and it was amazing vibes. It was awesome.
No, I appreciate you saying that, man. Like it was. You have no idea how amazing of a feeling it is to know that, like, we had the smallest little grain of salt in getting all y'all together to meet up and make new connections.
Hey, but when we're all famous and shit, that's something you could say, bro.
You know hell yeah. I'm like, we knew D.Flako from the jump.
Okay, you be like, I got Jamica, Motion, A-Key, D.Flako. I knew them before they was famous, you know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Had them on the pod.
Right? Hell yeah, dude. And all y'all are gonna be stars, dude. There's no fucking doubt about it. Like there's no doubt in my mind, like y'all are gonna all be fucking stars. Like y'all bring your own flavor to things. Y'all make incredible music. It's mind blowing. Like before the show, we were talking about like your 3 singles that you've made, and I don't know, dude. I still call bullshit on those were your first 3 songs because they're so fucking good.
No, yeah, those were definitely my first 3. Especially Asesina, that was the first song I ever wrote. I was actually writing in college.
Really?
And and I had dropped out of college due to like coronavirus and shit. Cause like I'm a very social person, where I was prior to like the whole virus situation. And basically I dropped out because they wanted to do like online schooling. And I'm sitting here like, man, I go to college to see people, bro. Like I don't go to college to do anything, you know what I mean? Because I heard that the main thing about college is the connections you make. That's what builds, you know what I'm saying? So now you're telling me I'm gonna be here on a computer screen, like there's no connections there, you know what I'm saying?
Right. You can't even pass notes.
Cap, bro, that shit wax. So I was like, I'm not doing this. So I basically dropped out, and then I started making music like full time.
Damn, how'd that go? Like the parents, because I know you're Latino, Afro Latino. You're first generation. Like I know that must have been tough to convince your parents, like, hey, like I'm throwing
It
this
was,
out the window for a little bit. I'm gonna focus on being an artist.
a landslide. It was like a real landslide. Cause like at first it was all cool. It's like I'm standing at the top of the hill, not knowing it's a landslide. You feel me? I'm in college and I'm starting to make music, which by the way, that has another interesting story behind it. But I'm starting to do college and music at the same time, and they're like, okay, music's cool. And then once I ditch college, they're like, it's for that music shit, huh? And now they're looking at sideways over the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Until
they start to demonize it, huh?
yeah, bro, yeah, and then they're religious too. They're really religious people. I grew up in a church setting, so like I'm pretty much like the black sheep right now of the
Yeah.
family.
No,
So
I feel you on that one. I can relate so hard because like I have a day job, right? Like not I have a pretty good like career as a day job, but when I started this, like my parents were like, "Why the fuck are you wasting your time on this? Like, it's nothing." Like, because Latin parents are conservative as fuck. They're all about like you gotta work hard, you gotta study, you gotta make it. Like that's the only lane they know. And when you're trying to make these new lanes and break walls, they're like, "No, that's wrong." Like,
I think it's always just like I think it's a factor of like mindset because like I remember hearing about this Rich Dad Poor Dad book and I watched a lot of videos on it and I listened to a little bit of the audio of it because I'm not a big person on books and stuff. Like I get most of my literature from like watching stuff with
yeah,
subtitles and shit. So
same,
like
same.
yeah. So Rich Dad Poor Dad talks about how like if a parent's mindset is to like kind of like work for somebody, something like that he said, like that's gonna always be on their mind. It's to like work for that dollar instead of making that dollar work for them.
Yeah,
And like I feel like our parents work so hard their whole life that like to a certain point, all they can teach us is work hard no matter how it is that you're working.
yeah,
On the opposite end of the spectrum, we're growing up and like I guess you could call society like our parent to a certain extent. You know what I mean? It teaches things that our parents won't teach us. And society is telling us, it's another way to make money. You know what I'm saying? There's another way to do things, another way to work hard. And our
yeah.
parents don't see eye to eye with us on that.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Like I said, my parents were so fucking against me doing this podcast and like investing time because like I grew up with that same mentality. You gotta work hard. You gotta work hard. And up until maybe a year or two ago, I was stuck in that mindset. I was working 3 jobs. I was doing this podcast trying to launch it. Like I was doing all these things and I was just like work, 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 work. And then I would burn out and I'd be like, fuck my life. I started getting dependency issues like with alcohol, with drugs. And I was just like, I was working hard, fucking being super productive. I was a high functioning alcoholic. I was doing all these things, but I was never happy. Like at the end of the night, I just wanted to fucking drink my life away and just, call it done.
I
Right.
can relate, definitely can relate to that shit right there.
Yeah. And then like up until I want to say a year or two ago, I was like, why am I working so fucking hard for somebody? Why aren't I making this money for myself? Because like I work as a mechanic, right? And I make hundreds of thousands of dollars for this company every year. And the one time I started doing things on my own, I was like, oh shit, I can make $1,000 here, I can make $1,000 there. I only work a couple hours and I made $3,000-4,000. And and when I'm so glad I hesitated to just go out on my own though, because when I was planning on going out on my own full time, like that's when COVID started. And I was like, damn, like I dodged the bullet. Because if I would have gone out on my own, I wouldn't have made anything.
It would have been ass, bro.
Yeah, I would have been done, right?
That would have been real bad.
Yeah, but luckily, I've been working on cleaning up my life, cleaning up my act. I've been focusing on this podcast more. I got, my homeboy Kyle involved because before it was me and some other guy, and we were both going down the wrong lane. Like it was bad. We started, actually, me and him started this podcast, but like those episodes were so vulgar. They were so fucked up. Like we would get drunk and just like talk to anybody on the streets. We got involved with gang members. We got involved with like drug raids. We got involved with the banditos. Like we got involved with all these things that it was just chaos all the time, dude. And luckily, we both kind of opened our eyes and we're like, all right, we gotta do the right thing. Like
Right.
You know, he focused on working hard for someone else. I focused on I gotta make my own businesses. Like I'm like you. I heard Rich Dad Poor Dad. I've heard like Gary V, all these different investors, and like it made me start thinking like I gotta figure out a way to use this to make the money they have, right? Like whether it's podcasting, and you know I'll put late nights into this. So we record Mondays, I release on Thursdays. So Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm editing, I'm cycling everything through. I got help now with Alan, but like it's such a fucking crazy mindset that I as of late I've been thinking a lot about, because our parents are so broken and stuck in that mentality where it's like I gotta work for somebody. I can't make it on my own. And COVID taught our generation where it's like, nah, fuck that. We don't need them. We can make our own money. Like musicians like you, like y'all realize I don't need a label. I just need the internet. I need TikTok. I need YouTube. Hop on some homies podcast that's trying to make it too. And like we all started growing together. And I don't know, dude. I've been my head's been all over the place lately, but right now that you said that, it reminded me of all those things that I've been thinking about lately.
That's really, because like honestly, bro, what you said right there's a beautiful thing, because like during COVID, a lot of people did realize that, and you could see the shift post COVID. Like post COVID world's a whole different world. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's new, everything's different. Like things are moving up. There's a lot more entrepreneurs. There's a lot more people starting up their own things. Like I mean, I saw girls that I went to high school with that are literally on Instagram hustling, selling beauty products, or selling clothing lines, or doing this, doing that. And like these are things that, probably 2 generations ago, or maybe even a generation ago, like with the millennials and shit, they weren't trying to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? When they were our age, like we're like already one step forward in that direction towards capital and like making good money as a generation. You know what I'm saying? Bringing that work in to make sure that the next generation is gonna be straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah, oh yeah. That's perfectly said, man. It's so crazy, man. Like the shit you start thinking about, and the way, like you said, the generation before us they didn't have the same mindset we did. It's so crazy how a couple years apart can change a mindset so drastically. Because like, oh, go ahead.
I said it's also the resources. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of the resources that we had.
Yeah, but I mean, millennials had social media and they had internet too.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm kind of in between. I'm like, I think I'm the cut right after the millennials. I'm that next generation.
How old are you?
I'm 28. I'm about to be 28.
Yeah, like right after the millennials.
Yeah.
Around like I would be kind of considered in your generation. I'm 23.
Yeah, so we're about in the same generation.
I'm closer to like the generation right behind yours, though.
Yeah. But it's just crazy because like the generation I'm in, let's say if we're in 2 different generations, the generation I'm in and the generation you're in, we're that bridge that's bridging that gap, and just
that bridge,
having an enlightened thinking is so crazy, so crazy. But with that being said, like how have you been able? Oh, hold on, let me backtrack. With that being said, and with like us going to Dojpalooza and you meeting all of these other people, like how has that inspired you, and what has it helped you like move forward with?
It made me realize that there's a lot of people working. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people working real hard to achieve the things they want to achieve, and I was taking kind of like a backseat on that because I don't want to sound cocky, but I was kind of just relying on my talent over it because I knew I had a little bit of a little jazz, a little funk. I was all right. I know I got a little something, so I'm gonna rely on that instead of trying to like actually put in the hours like everybody else is doing. And I got to Dojpalooza, and I'm seeing like everybody got talent. The difference here is gonna be how much work everybody's putting in. And that snapped in my head, like that taking a back seat on my own shit, like instantly stopped because I wanted to compete. I wanted to be with them, like doing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I have that competitive spirit.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I mean, you gotta have that competitive spirit when you're trying to be an artist.
It's fun, you know what I mean? To be honest, it's like a sport, you know what I'm saying? It's like if I'm playing basketball with my boys and then one of them get the up on me, now I wanna get them back, you know what I'm saying? And there's not no malice or no bad blood. It's just like, now now it's game on, my nigga. Like now I'm
Yeah.
about to die. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of what it feels like.
Like they elevate you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's awesome. And I mean, like you said, you're working with Aluki with Motion, which I think you and Motion are gonna fucking break the internet. Like y'all style kind of goes hand in hand so well that I'm excited to see what y'all come up with.
So like, let me tell you something. When you put two light skins on a track, bro, it can only go one way.
Yeah.
And viral, my nigga.
That's only up. Huh? That's dangerous because he's Puerto Rican, you're Dominican. Y'all making the connection there, the island boy connection.
But you know how many times I'll be on the phone with like one of my boys, or even with Jessica sometimes, and I'll be like, I'm an island boy. I just always say that shit, dog. Like those two niggas with the fat dreadlocks, they got me saying.
Hey, they figured something out, right? Like at least enough to get their 15 minutes of fame.
No cap.
Yeah,
because they got like a good little minute too.
Yeah, they had a fly ass hook. I mean, I wish they would have had the skill and set to make a full song out of it that was actually good because the hook was fire.
Yeah.
Them
dudes do need to drop some music. I feel like it would hit.
I don't know, dude. Have you heard them? They did a show where they made a full song out of that hook, and they didn't have it, bro. They didn't have the stage presence. They didn't have the lyrics. Like it flopped. It flopped hard. They got booed off. They got booed off stage in New York. Like they performed in New York and they got booed off.
And if I'm getting booed off the stage, I'm feeling some type of way, bro.
Right?
I'm feeling some type of way.
Hell yeah, dude. That shit hurts. I mean, I've dabbled with like stand-up comedy. And I got booed off my first time going up, dude. And I was like, fuck, why am I doing this to myself?
I got a question for you. What did that really feel like? Like being up there and hearing like that first boo and then like the rest of the boos, like damn, bro. Like I gotta know what that shit felt like.
Well, like at first, it was going okay. My thing is I haven't written down all my jokes, right? So I had only practiced them a few times just off the dome. So when I got up there, I got a little shaky. Like I lost control because comedy is all about timing and controlling the room. If you can control the room, you're good. But you gotta have that comedic timing where you can bring something down and then surprise them, right? Well, I started fucking up my own jokes, and like I knew I was fucking up. I knew I was fucking up. Like the first one came off good and it got a little giggle. The second one, it just crickets, nothing. And then the third one, it kind of got a little bit of a giggle. And then the fourth one was just like it was me trying to be shocking, and it did not go well. Like they were not having it, and that's when I started getting booed. And at that moment, I was like, "Fuck my life! Why am I doing this to myself? Like, why even try?"
Yeah,
but yeah, I got booed off. And like at the end, I got to laugh because I was like, "Damn, I actually thought I was funny." And I just like dropped the mic and walked off, and people started laughing their asses off. But it didn't stop me. Like I went again. I've done it twice. Now I'm trying to actually like write material down and practice it before I try to do it again. But yeah, I mean it sucks, but it's kind of driving at the same time. Like it's exciting because it's just something different, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I would probably like compare that to like trying a new genre of music.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be good at this, but hey, it's fun. Like it's daring. Like it's something new.
Hell yeah. Well, talking about music, dude, you have 3 tracks out. Like how did you make such fire ass music for your first 3 songs?
Bro, to be honest, I don't know.
You don't know?
I really like. So like this is the story behind that first song I ever made. Like I'm walking in the hallways, right? I get about 4 people ask me if I make music like randomly. Like I'm just in school, you feel me? Then like I walk over, I'm going to the basketball course. This girl stops me. She's like, "Hey, you make music?" I'm like, "Nah." And she was like, "Oh, my bad. I thought you made music. Like I seen you freestyling with them and this and that. You look like you make music." I was like, "Nah, I don't make no music." Then like I'm at the basketball course, and then some dude asked me, he's like, "Yo, Flock, you make music, bro?" I'm like, "Nah." I go to the game center, somebody else. Well, he was actually like a church dude or something. He's passing out like flyers for this youth service. And he's like, hey man, what's your name? I'm like, yeah, I'm Flako. He's like, Flako? Damn, you make music, bro? I'm like, what? I look at this dude so crazy. I'm like, bro, you really just asked me that right now? I'm like, dude, this third time. And then the fourth time, it was actually this one person I knew. They didn't ask me if I made music, but they told me I should make music. They're like, yeah, man, you should make music. Like, I've been hearing your freestyles, I've been hearing this and that. Like, yeah, you should try making some music, see where it goes. And like, really, all my freestyles were always like rap. You know what I mean? Like, just everybody smoking, everybody, and you know what? Put on a beat. We're all gonna freestyle for the fuck of it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And people are with it. So then I go to a party the day after that same day, and I meet this girl. I dance, you know, night goes on. I had a blast. Then the morning after that party, I start like writing about the party.
Okay.
And I'm showing people the song. And as I'm doing this, they're like, yo, this is nice. I think you should like try to be more hype in this part though. I don't like that the way it sounded slow. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'll take that into consideration. And I would just walk around campus and like show people my song. Like AirPod, be like, yo, check my song out. And they'd be like, this part is eh. And I would just keep like taking what they would say and like recreate until I showed my homeboy and he was like, yo, that's a good song. I'm like, you sure, bro? Because I didn't like how I sounded like rap into it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But when I was in the studio, nah, bro. I was like, whoa, I do not sound like myself right now. It was like this whole nother experience. And it was just fun. Like once I got to the studio, that's when I started hearing it for myself. Because I couldn't hear it for myself. Everybody heard it for me. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't hear it for myself until I hit the studio.
Gotcha.
Sorry about that.
You're good. You're good. That's all good. Don't worry. We can edit that out. I mean, it was on live, but we can edit it out. You're good though. No, so when you went to the studio, did you go like to a homeboy studio or did you like go to an actual studio? Did you pay for studio time or?
I paid for the studio time.
Damn, that's confidence.
Yeah, but it was very weird, like how I met the guy, because like I met him through one of my homeboys, but the homeboy wasn't the one who was rapping. It was one of his homeboys, and we were all at a party, and they were like, "Yo, y'all trying to go to the studio?" And then one of them was like, "Hell yeah!" And everybody else agreed, and I'm like, "Shit, fuck it, let's hit the studio." So then we go to the studio, and I hear him turn this dude's like 15. I hear him turn him into like a rapper in the span of like 40 minutes, bro. Like dude goes in there and drops a couple bars, and then when he comes out 10 minutes later, bro, this dude sounds official. And I'm like, wait. And I told him, I was like, bro, you work with people who sing? He was like, bro, I work with anybody. And I was like, let me get your Insta. So then I came in, and then you know we started making it happen. And then before I knew it, it was just like that sound. It was like that kind of sound that I didn't know I had, and it was there.
Oh hell yeah, that's
like,
badass.
Yeah, I gotta give him the credit for a lot of it because, like, as an engineer, I feel like that's what their job would be. You know what I mean? To bring out that best sound in the artist, because we can't really deal with the sound part of it. I mean, if you engineer your own stuff, you can, but like, you know, somebody like me who that was my first song and I've only ever sang it like to other people. I never sang it like into a mic or anything. I don't know what I sound like. He just kind of like set me up, had me good. You know what I mean? He's like,
damn, that's what's up.
Yeah, and then he just figured it out. And then at the end of it all, I was sounding like how I sound now pretty much.
Hell shit. That's badass. Like that's a dope ass engineer.
Yeah, no cap. No cap. And then I've been working with him. But one thing I did notice is that like throughout time, I started being able to like have my voice move up on skill level, I guess you could say. Like I was able to hit different notes. I was able to actually hit notes correctly. I learned how to sing better. Like little things while being in the studio that would make it easier for me to work with as an artist from the engineer standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like I go into a studio and if you're my engineer, you probably won't have to do much because I can do X, Y, and Z. You feel me?
I gotcha. So how'd you learn how to sing? Because you said, you used to sing. Like, how'd you know you had that in you?
This is a funny story. I never sang like in front of people, none of that stuff. I've always, my whole life, like I told you, my family's been religious since I was a little kid and everything. So they've been very involved in church. And my mom and dad sing a lot in church. And my little sister has a voice, so she's been singing in church. But I always took the back seat as the drummer or the piano player. That was always my thing. So I've
Oh
always
shit.
been, yeah, I started playing drums when I was 8, started playing piano when I was like 15, 16.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, that's like where my music outlet was always at. You know what I mean? To try to stay out of trouble, I would just go to church to be able to play music.
Okay.
And if I couldn't go to church, I would probably be in the street doing something I shouldn't be doing.
I feel that, man.
Watching anime, you know what I mean? Whatever. I would try my hardest to stay out of trouble just to not be a problem to my parents because they worked hard for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I got you.
that music shit started for me at eighth, like at my 8th grade. And when I turned 8 years old, pretty much.
Okay.
My dad drumsticks. He was like, I know you don't know how to play, but just try to follow the beat. And then just went up there. It was like a small service, wasn't a lot of people, so they let me do what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And then within a month, I was able to keep on beat. And then within a year, I'm doing all the shit that I want to do. 5 years, I got people like I'm playing drums for different churches, going different places. Like I'm playing for bands now, like, and the singing really came from working with singers because I got to a point where basically I was like choir director kind of thing. Like I was the drummer, but I would compose the music for the churches.
Oh, okay.
So I would,
Badass.
yeah, that was mainly that was like my passion. Like, all right, we're gonna take this song, we're gonna add this riff and this part, we're gonna rock this tone. Background singers, I need you doing this. Lead singer, I need you to hold this tone and then let the background singers do what they do. Bass line, follow them. Guitar, you come in with me. Like that was the kind of thing I would do. You know what I'm saying?
So you were like a conductor down there. You were running the show.
Yeah, basically, I was like when the people, like to the people's eyes, the lead singer's running the show. The lead singers mainly what I have them do is have them practice like hand signs. You know what I'm saying? When we're gonna wrap it up, they'll probably go like this to wrap it up, or they'd be like this. And then we know, but the game plan itself would come from me, and then the lead singer, their job is to make sure we're moving smoothly through the game plan. Is what it would look like.
Damn. Okay.
So because I worked with a lot of lead singers and background singers, I always had like a knack for like that, knowing what they should do. And I started listening to music that wasn't Christian, and it wasn't like the same as the original church music. And I would hear what they would do on those music, and like what I mean. I would listen to reggaeton, salsa, bachata, pop, funk, rock, hip hop, like everything, and just everything. And being a drummer, you play pretty much.
Yeah. So we have we call him our Twitch manager. His name's Chris, aka Pudgy Jesus. But he's a drummer, like he's a technical drummer. And he's badass. I'll bet you right now he's watching this video, and because he told us he couldn't make it, right? Yeah. So I bet you right now he's watching this and he's like, "Fuck, I wish I was there." Like he loves talking about drums. He goes crazy about drums.
Yeah, that's my first love right there, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, Kyle's about ready to get back on, so let's take a quick little break and we'll bring him in. Hey guys, Danny G here from the Weekly D podcast, and I'm here to tell you about our partners at Ballsy. Ballsy will give your balls the attention they deserve, because we all know it's no secret that balls are prone to odor, sweat, and sometimes even irritation. Let Ballsy help you upgrade your ball game with quality, long-lasting products formulated to keep you fresh, comfortable, and most importantly, confident. And right now, just in time for Father's Day, you can upgrade your man's ball game by going to ballwash.com, getting him the sack pack, and entering the promo code TWD15 for 15% off your order. You can also click in the link in the show notes below to get a special offer on Ballsy's B2 Balls and Body Trimmer. Now, let's get back to the show. And we're back. Kyle finally came back to the show.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Chilling.
I had some business I needed to attend to, unfortunately, and I had to step away for a second. But I'm back. I'm back now. I've been listening, kind of.
Let's do a few listener questions real quick since we're coming off a break. You cool with that, Flako?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Geraldine _17 asked, "What's your next move?" And then she said, "P.S. Your niece supports you."
Yes, sir. That is my niece.
Love that.
So my next move, I would say, is probably I can't throw that one out there. I'm gonna throw the next move, because the next move is something I could throw out there. So I'm thinking about dropping my single about a month from now. It's called Telefono. It's a reggaeton single. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. It's the first song that I'm trying to implement some English into the reggaeton along with the Spanish. It's not too much, just like a minimal amount, just to give it swag. You feel me? But I'm experimenting with trying to mix in how I sound in English to the public, because a lot of people that don't know me personally don't know that I make some English music too.
Okay, badass. It's a great answer. I'm excited. We're excited to see your next move for sure.
I thought she was gonna ask your net worth for a second. I was like, man, what?
No, I'm sorry. I get dyslexic sometimes and I can't read. Public school. That's what it gets you.
What's your net worth? How much do you get paid at work? I was like,
all right. We got one more. This one's straight from the IG as well. It's 787 WGI. He asked, "Did anybody give you any advice when you first started writing music?"
A lot of people give me advice. You'd be surprised how many people know, like, just a couple of things about music and don't do music. The person who sent that comment actually gave me some advice. I know who that is. It's a homie of mine from college. Shout out to my nigga Will, for real. Yeah, he gave me some advice. I remember he was starting to write music at that time, around the same time I was starting to write music. And he had given me some advice on just basically on my flow. I had some people give me a lot of advice on how to push my music, on basically how to, like, I guess you say, grow your following, how I would put it, how to grow my following and shit. Like, just a whole bunch of advice. One thing that did come up a lot, though, that a lot of people said was like, bro, don't sign. You don't gotta sign. I heard that so many times that to this point, I'm like, man, you know what? I might just not sign.
It's so hit or miss. Like, we've talked to some guys who have tried to get signed before, like, or they've gone through the process. Like, we had a guy on here named Lil Mook, and he's an independent artist. He ended up remaining independent for the long term, but he's like done stuff with like Migos. He did stuff with like Rich Homie Quan, and like he just didn't hit that level necessarily, but he tried to get kind of set on a record deal, and he was just like, "There's no way they take so much money from you. They just take so much." And he's like, the thing is, if you just become what's the past after a point, because music's constantly changing, there's things you see, like even now with like certain artists and stuff like that. Like I think Uzi even had a hard time. Lil Uzi Vert had a hard time because, like, for one, his artistic freedom was limited because he couldn't just go and record whenever he wanted to. You have somebody like Designer as an example too, who would put out tracks, and then eventually, like, he wasn't big anymore, so they just started like hiding his tracks basically, and they're just like, well, you can't record anymore.
It was like there was this one show, and I remember they was talking about like football and shit, and the dude was saying that there's always gonna be an after football, and I feel like that much is true about music too, because you leave a legacy and it is permanent, like what you leave on there, but at the same time you can't do that forever. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You're not go to your grave being the same singer you was when you're 23, 24, 25, so and so. You know what I'm saying?
It's just not sustainable because anything can happen.
Dude, I went to the pool one time. It was super cold. I remember I did not want to get in this pool, and like I had to go to the studio 2 days from that day, and I went into that pool, all fun and games. The next day I lost my voice because that water was too cold.
Oh no!
I barely had a voice, bro, and you could hear it on my tracks, bro. And I was like, shit, bro, like my career is that like flimsy, like it could be that flimsy where I could lose it off of just going to the pool. Like it could be like that, like just boom. Let's say I got a big show and then I don't went to the pool or something just like that, and then done. You know, probably 50,000 people would have paid to see the show or something, and I can't sing because I was doing some dumb shit that put my career at risk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, damn, this is something that I really gotta like make the most of while I still can, and make type shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Nurture it, you know what I mean? And like build that nest egg, because I think that's the most important thing. And that's the thing I think a lot of young artists realize after, you know, a couple years, like after they lose a lot of their money and a lot of their net worth, especially if they blow up, right? They'll blow up, make a couple $1 million, and then realize like that it's not sustainable unless you're putting out consistent tracks. Like I think unfortunately a lot of people like in the SoundCloud era are still going through that right now. Like you have people like Smoke Perp, like Lil Pump, like Lil Xan, like people like that, like that are, you know, they're not untalented musicians. They were just built for a time that no longer exists. Like, and because of that, like they can't even sell at a show. Like, like you'll see like legitimately empty concert venues and small concert venues at that for the music that like only a certain amount of people like have, you know, a taste for anymore. So they're not making the money that they used to. It's really just focused on antics and or brand deals. So you have to have something on the afterburner. Like Lil Yachty's smart because he ended up going to the movies. He ended up investing in marijuana and dispensaries, things like that, and ended up making a lot of money. Like, you know, it's just an example of using your money to your advantage and then losing your money.
See, me, I want to stay involved in music. So like one of my big goals is like to create pretty much like a one-stop shop for music. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to kind of create my own record label where there'll be like floors, and each floor serves a specific purpose. We have like the recording floor for the artists that are signed. We have the recording floor for the musicians that I sign, because I feel like musicians are probably my favorite part of music. Like anybody who can play any instrument instantly grabs my attention. So I want musicians and the best at that. So that's why I want to make it like, you know, a thing where musicians can now get signed and have a record label contract. And I also want to have a music school at the bottom floor, where if they graduate from my music school, but then, you know, obviously they can get a scholarship from me, like to start their deal type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can go to my school. It's like, how do I say this? It's more like an after school activity. And depending on involvement and depending on your progress, so how I feel like you're doing, I can sign you after you out of high school. And now you're with me and you're working with me.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, that'd be super dope.
I'm putting a lot of brain power behind that. But first things first, I gotta make sure I make it. So that
Absolutely
that happen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna pivot a little bit because I know that you yourself are a musician who does play instruments in general. So do you feel like in general that there will be a push, because it's already started? I feel like it's starting to happen like slowly, but it hasn't really gone mainstream yet. You know, a lot of especially record labels, things like that, like to go a cheaper route when it comes to their music and stuff like that. So a lot of them, when they record, they're recording on like synthesizers, they're recording on like keyboards and stuff like that, you know, stuff like that. Do you think that there's going to be, at least in the next few years, a push toward more live music again? Like, and I mean, when I mean that is live accompaniments, when you're recording, like hearing the actual like real drums, real guitar, like do you think that's coming?
I feel like it is, and here's why, to be honest with you. It's mainly because the style of music has been changing a lot lately. Like we're pushing more towards the past on the sounds of music. Like a lot of newer sounds are really old inspired. Like, and that's becoming more and more prevalent in the music industry now. You know, I'm listening to a lot of music and I'm like, bro, you know, this sounds like some shit I would have heard in 2000 or 2010. You know what I'm saying? Or this sounds like the 80s, you know, aka Weekend, and anybody else doing pop, like Raul Alejandro and everybody else doing pop, you know, it sounded like the 80s. And like, you know, when those times are being brought back like that, it's like, all right, you know what? People might start actually bringing that real authentic feel, because what was different in those times that we don't have now is the band that accompanied those people.
The show of the band, dude.
You know what I'm saying? The people that came with that artist, that was at the venue, and there was like a whole group of people behind that artist that was singing the song. And that's if it was just an artist, because 9 times out of 10 it's probably a band. But but if it was just an artist, they're coming with a band, and they're
Yep.
probably recording with that band. And,
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of authentic feel music, I could tell you it makes a difference, because like working with a band and then working in the booth makes a difference for me.
Mhm.
And singing on a stage by myself, as opposed to like if I was to sing on a stage and look back and see my band, it would make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
so I know that people, I mean, if they haven't figured that out, it's going to be something that's going to get figured out very quickly.
I think
Yeah.
I think we're already seeing it though, with all these people doing acoustic sets, especially in the YouTube era right now, like the YouTube bubble we have where everyone's pushing music on YouTube, TikTok, it's a social media bubble. Everyone does an acoustic set because we love the acoustic sound. Like I feel like we had so much technology and so much artificial everything for so long that we're craving this old sound, the raw stuff. We're just like raw instruments, hearing someone play the bass just and then and watching it live is just it's such a good feeling. It's like we're entering this nostalgia phase where we're enlightened in certain things, but we still like we miss the past.
There's a cultural shift happening right now that I've noticed too.
The flat top coming back.
Yeah,
Which I think is awesome. I love the flat top. I had a couple of friends in high school who had a flat top, and I'm not that like we graduated in 2012, but we had a couple of friends who tried it, and like because it was cool for like a short time. Like Doug used to have one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our friend O'Shea, like he used to have one,
the high top, long socks.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I had one too right before I turned it into dreadlocks.
Oh really?
So I turned it into it was like a flat top, and then got long. I didn't want like a long flat top, so I started curling my hair.
Yeah.
Man,
damn.
You don't want to go
shave it all
Gerald
off and go back to to flat top.
But I will say,
put a perm in it.
Like you were saying though, there's definitely a push toward adding bands back into music, and I think you're seeing that with some of the older artists first. Like for instance, like Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak with like Silk Sonic. I'm excited to see people craving, like especially younger people, like that are like in their like early 20s, kind of craving that. Like I want that nostalgia. I want that like live company. I want a little bit more synth. Like cool, the electronic is cool, but I want like a real guitar and I want real drums. Like when I play that set. Like in all genres, which is awesome. It's cool to see that happening because I think that's just gonna make for a really, really exciting musical decade for us. Like it would be so dope to see like ACL and stuff like that with full live concert venues and stuff with like hip hop artists, rock artists to come back. Like rock would be cool. It would be dope to see rock come back and really flourish, in the mainstream.
Yeah, I find it kind of funny. It feels like we kind of flip flop because back in the 80s, 90s, like all their stuff was about the future, like the 2000s, the 2020s, and now we're here and we're like, nah, let's go back. Let's go back to the world.
Well, because the thing is, we're not even close to where music could be, right? Like I think we've just barely touched the surface in a lot of ways, and we had this idea of like futuristic is cool. EDM was cool for a little while. It sounds repetitive after a point. But like, there's nothing that's ever been super repetitive about like just a genuine good band.
Whatchamacallit? Honestly, bro, like I'll be going to some live shows or like festivals, and I'll bring my own percussion, like a little guida you hear in merengue. I'll bring that shit. Bro, if I could pull it out right now, I would. I'll bring that shit with me to a show, bro, and they'll start playing some merengue, and I'll be in the crowd, and I'll just pull out my instrument. And I'll be having fun, bro. And then you see some old heads that are like 40 years old, you know what I'm saying? And they look at me and they're like, they pull out like a bell, and the other one's got a conga. And now we're all playing, and it's like, yo, you know what? Y'all old heads are cool as fuck. And then, it's like, you can see how it brings people together. You know what I mean? It's like they became my band for the night. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That genuine connection. It was like almost like playing basketball with people that you got cool with. And now, like, we're a good team. Let's do this again. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Like a genuine jam session. I don't know. Like, I think it's interesting to see kind of where music goes, and it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like in the next 10 years, because let's be honest, like I didn't personally think to see like a Billboard Top 100 list and see like a song from the 80s, like Kate Bush is Running Up That Hill with Stranger Things coming out. Like I didn't think of that being like the top 5.
Happening, like, after so many years of hitting charts again and shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's Fleetwood Mac did that a couple years ago with TikTok. Like TikTok has definitely been a wave for, like, has been a wave, but TikTok for some reason it's like the gateway
It's like
that
Vine,
I
bro.
see.
Like Vine all over again. With people,
Yeah,
with
it's just
people doing
crazy.
better than Vine. Like Vine
It's giving people careers. Like
facts.
it's giving people careers. And honestly, like when you look at like the way management kind of handles certain things, like I don't know if you've seen some of these in general, and I don't know like if you've ever pushed any of your music and stuff like that on TikTok, but I don't know. I think it's the wave. I think it's the thing to, like, it depends on the algorithm, right? But if you keep consistently posting like every day, like it seems like it works to get like a following,
Yeah.
right? And to really build a following. And I don't know. I've seen like marketing companies actually use it to push out like artists and stuff like that are like not really known. Like that ABC song, for instance, that ABCDEF. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know.
It's a
I
pop
know
song.
what you're talking about.
So that song was not created on the spot. So if you look and you do a little digging and research, the girl that recommended that she do a song about the alphabet was actually tied to Universal Music Group. Whenever you looked up like her and who she was tied to on LinkedIn and stuff like that, so
No
she's actually
way.
tied to a record label. Yeah. So the lady if you look it up, she signed to the same record label. So like even before that happened, she was already signed.
They had
So
planned
like
it.
the push was to, our song was already more than likely written, like, and so there was just marketing. It's just the way you market a product. Like, let's just make this viral thing that eventually may blow up. People will like the song, and if it works, gets 1 million views, so then you blow up. They
Yeah.
did the same thing with Charlie Puth, like with Light Switch. Light Switch was already written. He's like, oh, let me just turn this light on and make a song out of it. It's already done. Like,
No way. Really?
yeah, it's all about the way you market something.
Well, I mean, I kind of believe that though, because I see them marketing on TikTok all the time, like so subtly. Yeah.
So there's always a way to like market your product, market yourself, show people why you're different. Like, and then eventually like that kind of picks up on itself. And like to me, you already have a really unique style, a unique sound, you have a unique vibe to you. And that I think like with marketing yourself, like, and putting yourself out there too, and seeing it not just on Instagram or like Twitter, but really putting it out on like social media, like TikTok, even YouTube, things like that. Like you'll find a
Niche.
dedicated
Yeah.
following. Like that could get bigger at that point.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
don't
think it's
sleep
cool.
on it, man. I feel like technology is the best way to advance your craft.
Yeah.
You can't sleep on it, and you can't be scared of trying something new.
Don't sleep on it, but don't let it consume you either, because the thing with TikTok is it reads your algorithm. So you'll spend hours.
I like random shit that I don't like, just so it keeps the algorithm trying to figure me out.
But
yeah. So
I don't know.
I got a question. What inspires you musically? Like, who inspires you musically? Because like I was listening to your songs, and I was like, man, I can hear like the old school reggaeton vibe, like when Daddy Yankee, Los Cangri, like just like really old school vibes. And I was like, man, I wonder like what your influences are in what.
I don't even know how to explain it to you. I mean, one of the biggest influences in my music, I would say probably the artist that like hearing this artist made me believe that I could do music. It'd probably have to be J Balvin. And it wasn't too much because of like his persona.
Mm-hmm.
I did fuck with his persona a lot though, but one thing that really did like make me do it was just like his voice. Like when I heard his voice, it was so similar to my own voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard about the stuff he talks to, and I relate to a lot of the stuff he talks about. I'm like, all right, like this artist right here, like really feels like it's me doing this right now. And then after I made my first song and people were like telling me I sound like J Balvin, I was all like, all right, I'm gonna have to take a little breather and like keep creating, because I don't want to sound like nobody else. I want to be original, like every artist, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I took my little break and I started listening to a lot, believe it or not. I don't know if y'all know who Playero is.
I'm not familiar.
Basically, like when the whole dance hall movement started in the 90s, the big dance hall 90s kind of thing going on, there was this DJ, Playero, and I don't know if he's Jamaican or not, but I do know that he was really in touch with Jamaican culture at the time. So basically, like he was the guy who brought that whole like dance hall vibe to Puerto Rico. And that's what kind of created like reggae. They would call it reggae at the time because that's what it was. And then they gave it their own title, reggaeton. And from there on, it started flourishing. And then, Daddy Yankee was obviously on those projects. You got people like, shit, I can't even name no niggas right now. But you got a lot of other people who are very original to like reggaeton, like very old school. And they're on that, and it's very, very, very old. Like you would hear it, bro, and you would think it's like Jamaican people, but they're speaking Spanish. You know what I'm saying? So I listened to that for about a month, and then I actually listened to Jamaican people because I noticed that they were just basically just singing and remixing Jamaican songs. Started listening to Jamaican songs, Plan B, Alexi Fido, like you know what I mean. I like to listen to a lot of like, I guess you would say party music. And dembow is another influence in my shit. A lot of dembow people, and all that just really puts a big part into like molding that style. Because that original sound of how J Balvin sounded is like what I aim for. It's like I like the way that sounds. That's the sound I want to kind of have. But taken. So how can I do this the way I want it and the way I like it? Because I used to do the whole thing with the bands where I would kind of like mix up songs that were originals and turn them into like, ours. Like they were like, all right, this song belongs to so-and-so band. They're famous, but we're playing it at our church. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this extra riff here. Singers do this, drummer do this, so on and so forth. And I changed the song completely to make it fit our set and to make the church feel it, so on and so forth. So I just kind of like deconstructed my flow and did the same thing. Just kind of like took a back seat, tried different styles, listening to a whole bunch of different music and not making music when I was in that period of listening to music. And eventually just kind of mixed and found that little sauce that I wanted for myself.
I like it.
Okay, that's badass. That hearing how you like used to do that as a kid and used to like mix different songs and stuff makes me wish we had like a Latin version of Howl at the Moon. Have you ever heard of that bar? Where it's like a jazz bar and they have like two pianists like playing against each other and then like remixing songs and shit. Like imagine that, but like with merengue artists, with like reggaeton or salsa, you just hear the salsa bass just like that'd be so freaking dope.
You should go if you've never been to a Howl at the Moon. It's a fun time. Like especially as a musician, like from your end, I think you'd really have an appreciation for it in general, just because you can also like pick the songs they play in general. So if you want them to play something a little bit, because all those guys, keep in mind, they a lot of them play like 3 to 4 instruments each. Like so they all play, like one sings, but he sings, but he also plays the drums, he also plays piano, he also plays guitar. And they'll go in like sections. So all these guys are multi-talented like musicians. So as musicians, sometimes it's really fun to be like, oh well, I'm gonna test them a little bit. Let's play this one, which is a little bit harder on the drums. Let's see how this guy can handle the drums. And then you can just see the man go, and you're just like, yeah. So cool.
And then the cool thing is like the people there, they can request songs.
Yeah.
What makes them even more exciting. But like, okay, get that and make it Latin. How fire would that be?
It would be crazy.
That'd be hella fun, actually.
I've been in settings similar to that, but it's not the spot. It's just kind of things that just happen. Like one time I was at this apartment, I'm helping somebody move in there, and there's like this party outside, and there's Latino people, and I'm like, oh, I want to go over there. You know what I mean? Because it's like they're at the front of the park in these apartment complex. They got tables set up, and I'm hearing music, but I don't see speakers. So I look closely, and there's like 2 bass guitars. There's a piano player, there's somebody singing, and there's like a whole bunch of percussion just laid out, and they're making like salsa music. They're singing it right there for the people who are eating and dancing and playing around. I guess the band, and I'm like, whoa. So then I pick up a Congo, like I'm gonna be right back. I go and pick up a Congo, and I start getting in. They're like, oh, I thought you was black. I'm like, no, yo soy dominicano. Start talking to them, you feel me? And I'm like, oh shit, man, come over, you want a beer? They get real friendly with me. It's lit now.
Oh yeah.
So like they start doing this one song, and I know this song. So I take the Congo, I'm starting going, and then the other dude has another Congo. So he starts doing like this cut. It's like, and he starts doing some crazy shit. And then he looks at me like, what you gonna do? And I'm like, we start going in like back and forth, and the whole time you hear the piano like him the whole time, and then me and him are having like a face off, but we're doing it on beat and we're trying to like make a show for the people also. So it was like very fun to like almost compete, but like make the song good together. Almost like I gotta be fired, and then he goes fire. All right, I gotta be fired now. It's like, all right, we both fired now. We do something together. You know what I mean? So it's like it's pretty cool.
So we got a friend that's our drummer friend that we're telling you about. He's really excited to talk to you and asked if he can hop on real quick. So you don't mind, we're gonna bring him in.
He's been really loving and appreciating like these podcasts lately because we've been doing a lot of musicians, and a lot of musicians like that really like other instruments, or they play into other instruments, or they like drums, they want accompaniment, things like that. So they like, we've had a bunch of people on like that. So he's been losing his mind. He's just like, yes.
Yeah. While we take a quick break, let's talk about our friends at Honeysuckle Brand. Honeysuckle Brand is a lifestyle brand composed of some of the most amazing people ever. They are a Houston-based hemp retailers, providing their clients with nothing but the best. Whether you want something to help wind down and sleep, or you want something to turn a boring night into a fun-filled night, Honeysuckle has something for you. They source all their product from local sustainable farmers, their packaging is environmentally friendly, and they give back to the hemp community by donating 5% of all profits to reform and advocacy causes. And right now, for our listeners, y'all can click on the links in the show notes below to get 15% off your purchase of Honeysuckle's Delta 9 water-soluble nectar that can turn any night of the week into a canna cocktail night. So turn your happy days into happy days with Honeysuckle and order online or give them a visit at Railway Heights Market, 8200 Washington Avenue in Houston, Texas, and tell them the boys from the Weekly D sent you. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hi.
It's Pudgy Jesus.
I hate you with a passion. Hi, I'm Chris. I am their bitch. You've heard about me. I had to mute myself to go do some stupid shit. But yeah, hi man. What's going on, buddy?
I'm chilling, bro. How you doing?
Fist bump, drummer buddies,
Yeah, facts.
Fist bump me, man. So I know it's real. Yeah, man. So that's cool. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. This is the first other drummer they've had on the show. I got super excited. I had to go host a stream that didn't happen. Nice. So that's about me. But yeah, man. But I also think that was really cool. So you were actually composing as well as like kind of synchronizing and writing like the segments, everything. Yeah. So like with me, so basically how I write with this band I'm in right now is me and the guitarist I met at this punk show. Mm-hmm. He would hit me up like, hey bro, you're cool. I'm like, okay, cool, but you're better than what you did. Yeah, of course I am. So basically what we did was he wrote off like riffs and then he would bounce off me and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then we would kind of like, what if we played like this section right there? So I actually have I can dabble in writing songs. Right. I just never conducted. I mean, in a sense, we are always conducting. We're drummers, dude. We're conducting no matter what.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I was able to do what I did because like it just made sense, bro. Like I would do it I would do it like live on, I would say on set, like while we're playing, and then like sometimes the songs like the vibe would switch. Maybe the people are feeling the song and they're worshiping God to a certain extent, you know what I'm saying? You could see the vibe changing in the room. So I'll make a call, you know what I mean? I'll be like, all right, I'm going to start. I know the song's supposed to go like this, but I'm about to hit these plates softly, you know what I'm saying? And then hit these toms and roll it down. And piano, you see what's going on. So like you pick up and like make it emotional, get saucy with the piano, make them feel that. And don't do too much. Just follow him and stay low. You know what I'm saying? Like they know things like that, but it'll be like on a split moment decision. Like I decide to slow down, everybody on that stage know what the fuck that means. So
that's cool.
Do that, you know what I mean?
That's awesome.
See,
and when they see that I take that initiative, they start giving me more freedom to start moving it on the way.
So cool.
It's control.
So that's the one thing I wish that. So like with your sets and my sets is this. Like with your set, you were basically in control. With my set is where we had a set like list. So actually, I played a couple of church shows. I haven't told the guys about that. Yeah, I'm also not religious, so that's.
I'm surprised you made it into the church.
Right, I didn't fucking burn the fuck up, dude. But yeah, I played. So,
bro, like a lot of churches actually hire people just for that. Like,
yeah, they do.
Like, and then they won't be Christian. They're nothing like that. It's just, hey, we need people who play instruments.
And you do good. Yeah.
We need singers. Here's the songs. Learn them. Sing them for us. Like, and I like, my church was super strict growing up. Like, my denomination of Christianity is very strict.
Okay.
So, like, that was something that was very, like, when I saw it, I was like, whoa, they let this happen. Like, this dude's not even Christian. Like, how's he even touching that jump? Because, like, and where I was growing up in church is like, if you're not living the holiest of holiest, you can't even think about touching that stage. You know what I'm saying?
A last question for percussion. Sorry, what's your favorite percussion instrument to play?
Ooh, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna give you a top three. Because these three are very hard to choose from. Number one is definitely the drums, because it's the first instrument that I ever played, just the regular drums, with the 4 toms and the hi-hat and the kick and all that stuff. Second would have to be the conga, or la conga. I love that instrument. It's, it's very prevalent in bachata music, in merengue music, salsa music. So it's something very Latino. And it's like one of those instruments that you start playing it and you can kind of already hear that Caribbean swing to it.
Dude, for sure. I love that. Like, you have to make sure both your hands are doing something different. You can't just like, you have to like
the congas. Actually, I'm lying to y'all. Because I took music classes when I was a kid. I remember there was like this music program in my school, and it was the after school program, I believe. And they had something called Latin percussion. And we paired up with the violin kids, and we went to Radio City Music Hall, and I was one of the conga players for Radio City Music Hall. We did. That's
cool. You're from New York?
That's really cool.
Dude, bad. Okay, dude, Radio City, that's iconic, dude. This man needs some props. That's an iconic place to play at ever. All the big bands play there, dude. That's iconic as fuck.
We know. It's a big deal.
It was a dream at a very young age too, bro. I did play the violin too. I actually played a set on radio, like in that same day. I played one set with the Latin percussion team, and then I walked over and picked up a violin and played the next set with the violin people.
Nice. Damn.
Cool.
I remember that happened. But like while we were learning, I was learning conga, and they were telling us like, they would tell us like, all right, you need to do like palm slap, heel slap, palm slap, open, and they would teach us all the little like techniques to it. And then like when I got older and I started hanging around like with the older church people who were like, they played instruments and stuff. There was this one guy who was straight from Dominican Republic. No, there was 3 of them, and they were all percussionists and drummers. So like it was like a little crew of us. Like these are the percussion people. You know what I'm saying? Like we would rotate on the drums, we'd rotate on the congas, we'd rotate on the guira, and that's how like it really started with the whole rotation of everything. And when I saw them do the congos for the first time and just start going ham, I was like, yo, I didn't learn that. And it intrigued me and I wanted to learn. So congo was like the second instrument I really put a lot into. Last percussion instrument. It sounds basic, but the cowbell.
I mean, Will Ferrell plays it the best, though. We can't be Will Ferrell, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Will Ferrell plays the cowbell the best, but yeah, the cowbell, definitely a staple for sure.
In salsa music,
it's a staple. That's a thing.
Such a freedom. Oh my god! Like it's such an easy like instrument. You don't gotta do much. And then like when I'm doing this, like I'm like, yeah, this is so fucking fun. Like, how can this be this fun and it's not even all that hard? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, it's also one of those really good accents that you can use. It's so versatile. The cowbell, like to the people that aren't drummers, those 2 noobs over there on the side of I don't know where you guys are. Dude, the cowbell is very versatile, dude. Yeah. It's very versatile.
I love it when it's used for salsa.
You said what?
I love it when it's used for salsa. Like it's such a staple sound in salsa music.
It's like as soon as you hear it, the song's about like it's taking off. Like the song's like got a little swing to it, but then that cowbell starts It's like, oh shit, this is getting real now. Like it's the cowbell.
Yeah. Have you ever gone to Gloria's by any chance? Or like Tropicana in Houston?
I've heard of it.
I'm asking because they have live bands. They mix it up between a live salsa band and DJ, like all throughout the night. It's a club, yeah. If you like dancing salsa, merengue, cumbia, and all that, Gloria's is the place to be at, dude. In Houston, It'd be popping.
I might
But,
hop on and see if they let me play.
yeah, you should, dude. You should try it. They're always picking up people because like I go out there pretty often with my fiance because she loves to dance salsa and stuff. And I got 2 left feet, so I try. But it's such a fun place to go. That place in Tropicana, they're live bands just playing all night. Yeah. I fucking love that. So, can we ever expect you to do a album or a project with live music, like in the background?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of my biggest goals. Like I talk about that shit all the time to my homeboys. Like, yeah, this music shit's cool, bro, but like I'm not gonna be satisfied until I got my band.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's when I'm gonna feel satisfied. I might still drop music using a producer and stuff like that, but I want my own band. You know
Hell yeah. And would you do it like old school style, how they used to have the whole band play at once, or would you try to do individual instruments?
All at once.
All at once. You gotta get that vibe, huh?
For the feel, yeah. For the feel.
Hell yeah.
It's not, you're not gonna be able to imitate that if everybody's doing it one at a time.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna feel it like for themselves, as opposed to us all playing at the same time and feeling the same exact thing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes a lot of happy accidents that way too. Because even if somebody like may change tempo or whatever, you may not realize it's happening, and then like you do it, and you're like, actually, it sounds better like faster, or it sounds better just a little bit slower, or like I see what you added there. Let's keep that. Like keep doing that. Like we'll add this specific part because y'all get to really work off each other. Because if you're just doing it based off of the thing by yourself one at a time, like you're not gonna have that. And then maybe somebody will listen to it as you're going through. Like, actually, I didn't like that you did that, or I didn't like this, I didn't like that. Like, it's better to do it all together at once, because then you can kind of all test the waters.
So, fun fact: a lot of bands didn't actually record all at once.
I know they used to do it individually.
Yeah, it's like a couple of bands that did that was
Motown.
The
Motown
Beatles,
was known
Motown
for
sure.
Together.
Motown, Led Zeppelin did it in the last couple albums, but they always had Bottom always had a click track in his head.
I was like, that's the
Beatles. Yeah, the Beatles did like when they did the whole group like at one session, the drummer always had. I know you want to take but the drummer always had a click track in his head. So like so that way they can keep it more like stable. But a couple bands did do that. Like Slipknot is known to not use fucking tempo a click track because Joey Jordison back in the day would just go fucking ham. But like a lot of the bands that did do it all at once was all drummer had click track. I know it's because my dad has been a session musician for the last 45 years in Houston, and he fucking has been click track in your head all the times when he records. So like, and he actually broke it down too, because like a lot of bands that had the whole live session at the same time, there was one person that had the click track, and it was usually the drummer.
Shit, guys, we're like 2 hours in already.
I was like, shall we wind this thing down?
Yeah, let's get into this or that. This or that, D.Flako is a part of the show where we just ask you random questions, kind of in a rapid fire kind of way, and you just answer to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right, first one is this or that, hot or cold?
Hot.
Hot. Okay. The next one is chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Oh, finally a second chocolate.
I thought it was vanilla.
I got.
Everyone keeps saying vanilla. Flako and Motion are the only two that have said chocolate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do salty or spicy.
Salty.
Okay.
Caribbean.
I have one. Songs, fast or slow?
Fast.
Okay. I feel that.
Let's start going through this or that. Let's do.
I got
reggaeton or bachata.
Ooh.
Gotta give you a hard one.
I'm gonna go with bachata.
Bachata. There you go.
Bachata,
I like the way y'all dance bachata. Like Dominican bachata is way different than what we know as bachata.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to learn how to dance like that myself, if I'm being real with you.
Yeah, I like it. I want to learn, but like I said, I got 2 left feet, so it's gonna take me a while.
1 year you'll learn it.
Yeah, probably.
So let's say, because you've been here a long time at this point. Let's go Let's go Puerto Rican food or Mexican food.
Ooh.
At this point, if you had to choose,
Puerto Rican?
because you live in Texas, so Mexican food's here, but coming from New York, I was like, coming from New York, Puerto Rican food is probably easily accessible.
It's the most similar to Dominican food. I'll probably go with Puerto Rican food.
I got one.
Do they have mofongo, like in Dominican culture?
We eat mofongo too, but I mean, to my knowledge, I think that's Puerto Rican.
That's what I'm thinking. I was like, it's Puerto Rican, but I wasn't sure if Dominicans had their own version of it.
Yeah, we have our own thing using plátanos also. It's called mango. It's like famous. Like if you know a Dominican, they eat plátanos and mangoes on the menu. Mangoes basically you take the plátano and you boil it. You treat it like it was like mashed potatoes. But you do that with actual plantain itself.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And you treat it like mashed potatoes. You mash it up with some butter or whatever. And we got queso frito. You can take some queso frito, you fry the cheese, throw it on there. It's like it's like squares of fried cheese, you feel me? And then they fry the egg, and then they fried salami.
Damn.
Wait, what?
That
you put fried egg and fried salami and
fried cheese along with the
sounds good.
You can mash plantain. Yeah.
Well, because those plantains are probably not sweet. They're probably more savory, right? Than they are sweet.
Yeah. You gotta have the plátano, bro.
I got one for you. Movies. Action or horror?
I'm gonna have to go action.
Okay.
Action. All right.
It's because I fall asleep every time I watch a horror movie.
Wait, what the fuck?
I need to put.
Like I don't know what it is. Like I start watching horror movies. It's like
he's fearless, dude. These are boring to me, man.
Well, they're just
fucking ghosts.
Most horror movies are a long build.
I mean, Danny, you fall asleep in a shower. I can't take your word for that.
I fall asleep everywhere, dude. I don't sleep enough.
I'm gonna tell you guys one thing though. Like I would say I like more horror movies than action movies, but I enjoy the action movies more.
Okay,
gotcha. That makes sense.
I'd go with action.
Yeah. All right, I got one. Whiskey or rum? Because I know in the Dominican they love their rum.
Rum.
What's your go-to?
I'm a whiskey guy, but
my go-to is rum.
Is rum? Okay.
Yeah.
You got a specific one, or?
I would say
Kraken.
It would be between Don Julio and Bacardi.
Okay.
Ooh, bro, I love we should party, dude. I got you, buddy. I love Bacardi for like $5 here.
What was that one? Captain Morgan's is pretty good too.
Dude. Captain Morgan's is good.
No, but the island Bacardi is like a whole nother thing. It ain't what we have here.
Yeah.
Like here we get it dirt cheap and it's shit compared to like real Bacardi from the island or from Mexico. Like it's just a completely different recipe. Let's keep this or that going.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Whataburger or In-N-Out?
Whataburger.
Whataburger. All right.
Yes, sir.
You should have asked him a Shake Shack or Whataburger. That would have been a better question.
I thought about
that. All right, Flako. What's the first thing you do in the morning?
First thing I do in the morning, hit snooze.
Hit snooze.
Probably
same thing.
Because I'm waking up with the alarm, so I'll take the alarm off.
Mm-hmm.
The next best thing is probably check who in the crib. I always do that shit. I wake up, get up, look around, see who's in the house. Yeah. That'll usually dictate what I'm gonna do with my day, depending on my day.
Gotcha.
Like if it's an off day, I'll definitely get up, look around, who's at the crib. Ain't nobody here. All right, this is what I'm doing today.
Gotcha. So, hell yeah. Okay. Last question. It's a fill in the blank. It's my name is D.Flako and I am
the next best up and coming Latino artist.
Hey, let's put that out into the universe. Let's make it happen.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Good vibes everywhere, huh? Fuck yeah, dude. I hope so. Like, I always think about this, like being the Weekly D podcast and what we're trying to do with like bringing up and coming talent. And I just like, I'm so curious what 5 years from now will look like when all y'all blow up and all y'all are like making big moves and we're just like, holy shit, we knew them.
Yeah.
I remember when I knew Flako. I was but a lad.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all podcast is going big places too. I'm gonna be seeing y'all on a lot of different platforms. I know that.
I hope so,
we
bro.
appreciate
Remember
it.
us when you're famous, regardless.
All right, Flako. Well, this is the end of the interview, so it's your chance to just spread the word, promote what you got, let us know where we can find you, and it's your time to shine.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. So as y'all know, if y'all haven't been in the interview the whole time, I'm D.Flako. My Instagram is D.Flako official, spelled DFLAKO.official. And y'all can find me on Instagram like that. I don't got a Twitter. I'm on all platforms as D.Flako, DFLAKO. And I'm gonna sorry about that. I'm gonna be having a single dropping in about a month or so. It's gonna be called Telefono. I also got some collabs. Keep an eye out for my boy A.Lucky. He just dropped one of his new singles too. Same with Motion. He just dropped a single. Keep an eye out for him. We got something coming out. Also, Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's working. We all working here.
Hell yeah.
That's it for me. That's all I gotta say.
Hell yeah, man. And make sure you send us them links, dude, when y'all start dropping stuff.
Oh, of course.
Please send us the link so we can
put it out
help
there,
you
make sure
promote and put it out everywhere.
Out to the people. The
I
people.
have a question.
Flako.
Bro, you down to have a drum battle? I'm down for drum battle. You down?
You're probably gonna beat me, but I'm with it.
We will use the congas.
Use a
Okay, we'll do a two-part. We'll do the congas, and then we'll do like a really brief drum set battle where I use everything I can use. I'm not gonna get myself out.
This is what we're gonna do.
Okay.
We're gonna have the Congo battle. I'm gonna spank you.
Oh, I'm down for that.
After the Congo battle, you gotta let me choose the drum battle because you play metal. So that's a little advantage that I don't have. We're gonna have to choose a different section of music.
I have an idea. We'll do congas and then we'll do a cowbell battle.
A cowbell.
Let's do that. We'll do a cowbell off, dude. Cowbell off. Let's fucking go.
That would be
I'm
fire.
down. Let's fucking do it, dude.
Y'all should do it, record it, and make it like your own verses. Like, you know how they do the verses nowadays.
Ooh, I'm down. Okay, I'm down for all three. Conga battle. You choose a drum style. Cowbell
Please
battle.
make this happen.
Hold up.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is a good part to end the show. Thank you again, D.Flako, for coming on. You've been an amazing guest.
It's amazing talking to y'all for real.
Yeah.
It was
like I told you before we started, the goal is to become friends at the end of this. I think it worked out. I feel like we're all gonna be friends after this. We're gonna be looking out for all your music, your new projects. Please send us all your links because we are more than excited to promote you and like help you build this dream that you have. Because you are an amazing artist. I'm gonna be jamming your music all the time, like especially summertime, dude. It's time to like have throwbacks, kickbacks. We're gonna have to play some of the D.Flako, some Motion. Like all y'all are just amazing artists. So
when I want to say to Texas, I got y'all with big cookout. Like
buddy.
At my house, I got you, buddy.
I want to make fajitas. Well, hopefully I'll have a house by then.
I mean, you can always use my house. I have the most room, I think.
That's true.
We'll have a jam session at your house.
Make fajitas.
We'll bring D.Flako.
We'll bring a bunch of stuff.
Bro, I got two drum sets here, dude. Dude, I got two drums in the piece. We got this shit, dude.
All right.
Let's fucking go.
But yeah, thank you again, Flako. Thank you, Pudgy Jesus, for coming on. Thank you, Ted Cruz, for being the co-host. Thank you to everyone that's been watching this. I know it went a little long, but we appreciate you listening. And thank you to our listeners, our Twitch fans. Peace. This is the show.
Peace.
Esto es pa' perrear, ey. Ahora sí que vamos a gozar. Dime qué es lo que. Escondido, que nadie lo ve. Repetimos una y otra vez. Escondido, que nadie lo ve. Repetimos una y otra vez. Es que fue y escondido, que nadie lo ve. Repetimos una y otra vez. Es que fue que lío. ¿Qué pasó? Estamos en lo mismo. ¿Qué pasó? Ya aprendió. Y fumamos los Galactic. Esto es fantástico. Cuando se altera, le digo tranqui. Llévate los panty. Vi que es romantic. Anda soltera. Me gustan las las. Se convierte a un freak como freakitona. Se empieza a beber. Ey, otra botella. Escúchame que te va a gustar lo que voy a proponer. Dale pa' atrás. No te preocupes que estamos en la esquina donde nadie nos ve. ¿Qué fue? Escondido, que nadie lo ve. Repetimos una y otra vez. Escondido, que nadie lo ve. Repetimos una y otra vez. Es que fue y es que fue escondido, que nadie lo ve. Repetimos una y otra vez. Es que fue que lío. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? Estamos en lo mismo. ¿Qué pasó? Ya aprendió. Y entramos en la nota. Tú eres otra cosa. Bien bella cosa. Te quiero sin ropa. Ven, toma. Tú es pa' hoy, no otro día. Amanecemos juntos. Cama rompida, yeah. Y el conocimiento es lo que vamos a hacer. Es que fue escondido, que nadie lo ve. Repetimos una y otra vez. Escondido, que nadie lo ve. Repetimos una y otra vez. Es que fue y es que fue escondido, que nadie lo ve. Repetimos una y otra vez. Es que fue ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? D.Flako, Brian Ness, aquí rompiendo, aquí rompiendo. Ella le encanta escucharte flow.